Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Allie Sutton. During the month of June, members of the LGBTQ community share their stories of pride and resilience. With the pandemic still limiting human contact, many have resorted to technology for companionship, trapping them in a hopeless state of loneliness. The music department is hosting a Christmas concert as we speak in the Student Center. Tomorrow, the International Christmas Market event will take place in the Student Center, and in the evening, seniors will host an overnight Christmas party lock-in for all senior students to attend. There will be a bunch of Christmas games and gift exchanges. Lexi, back to you. But Asbury Science is revamping their teaching methods by incorporating more hands-on opportunities for students in both science and media. Pfizer BioNTech says its COVID-19 vaccine could be quickly adapted to target the Omicron variant. So what does this mean for the spring semester? Well, the Student Center will be completely closed and closed off to students and staff members during the spring semester, so it will not be accessible to anyone for entry. The university has made sure to implement every protocol necessary to make sure that students and staff stay healthy and stay here. 2 days after a deadly tragedy at the Astroworld concert, the first lawsuit has been filed against rapper Travis Scott and concert organizer Live Nation Entertainment. During the concert, several were injured and at least 8 lives were lost. Now, usually this theater would be filled with hundreds of staff and students, but this year is looking a little different as there is a capacity limit of about 55 people per show. Just short of 2 meters by 3 meters, one of the world's largest pyramidal holograms now exists on the grounds of Asbury University.
It was like an epiphany, I guess. We looked at it as like, I think that could actually work.
Asbury faculty and students from both science and media backgrounds helped to create the hologram.
I think it shows how students are building things of the future, and we're really learning things that are kind of on the cutting edge of technology and science.
Many science programs strictly base their curriculum off of these large, hefty textbooks. But Asbury Science is revamping their teaching methods by incorporating more hands-on opportunities for students in both science and media. Wanting to spark further interest in science for a wider variety of students, chemistry professor Dr. Schaefer created a Science of Light media course which incorporates more practical material.
For me, it's fun to see the students grow. So part of my interest is getting them interested in it so that they have the ability to start playing with it, because maybe they can learn or do something in a way that I've never thought of.
After the creation of a smaller scale hologram in a science class lab, the preparation work then began to create one of the world's largest.
It was another outlet for media creativity and science creativity as well with how it was constructed.
Several limitations are still left unsolved. Inconsistent 3D effects are unable to provide a perfected 360-degree view, but the initial goal of inspiring curiosity was met.
My hope is that it does bring joy for a lot of other people when they get a chance to experience it and play with it some.
In Wilmore, Allie Sutton, Newswatch 3. Identified by the CDC as the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, suicide affects all ages. For those between the ages of 10 and 34, suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death.
In those moments, it's very easy to get blinded and not, kind of see the bigger picture.
After years of experiencing extreme depression and anxiety, college junior Maddie Anderson entered a dark state of mind and considered ending her own life.
When you get in that place, you do feel a sense of worthlessness and helplessness, and really of oh, how much do I really matter to people, and how much am I being a burden on them?
Licensed professional counselor Kevin Ballou says common risk factors may include severe depression, loss of relationship, or past suicide attempts. With the pandemic still limiting human contact, many have resorted to technology for companionship, trapping them in a hopeless state of loneliness.
That loneliness is such a powerful experience that it pushes people to the edge.
Ballou says warning signs to watch for may be direct confessions or more indirect actions like giving away personal belongings. Regardless, Ballou advises anyone to ask if you think someone might harm themselves.
Very few people are offended by asking, especially if you do it out of care.
Maddie Anderson is now pursuing that very mission through her degree program in social work.
So it's really just a process, I think, of learning how to understand that your life is bigger than yourself.
In Wilmore, Allie Sutton, Newswatch 3. Welcome to Newswatch 3. I'm Allie Sutton with this week's top stories. Asbury is bustling with students in the middle of finals. However, some students are using the time between studying to pursue more creative interests. Newswatch 3's Lexi Presto recently sat down with two Asbury sophomores who created their very own band titled Sleep Aid. Let's take a look. On Friday evening, community members gathered for an honor walk outside of McLaren Oakland Hospital to pay their respects for Justin Schilling, a victim of Oxford High School shooting. The honor walk paid tribute to the 17-year-old organ donor who is known as a hard worker, scholar, and athlete. Schilling was declared brain dead on Wednesday, just one day after the shooting, bringing the death toll to a total of 4. Schilling's legacy will live on as his organs were donated to save the lives of others. Pfizer BioNTech says its COVID-19 vaccine could be quickly adapted to target the Omicron variant. BioNTech Chief Executive Or Sahin says it takes about 100 days to develop and distribute a new vaccine. But it's still too early to know if a modified version is needed. An adapted serum was not needed for the Delta variant. Sahin says anyone who has received the current vaccine and booster should be protected enough against severe disease. Well, it's the season of giving back, and here's an innovative way to do exactly that: giving vending machines. This is in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. You can make a donation to a local or global charity. Anyone who wants to can simply select a charity they'd like to donate to, swipe a credit card, and it's done. Donation options range from $5 to $300, and 100% of the money goes to the charity selected. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is sponsoring 10 of the machines across the country. Many people love getting in the holiday spirit this time of year by putting up Christmas trees and decorating. But one man in Max, North Dakota is taking holiday decor to a whole new level. Grace Kramer traveled to the small town to check out the Christmas display that is out of this world. Well, that's all the time we have for today. For Newswatch 3, I'm Allie Sutton. Have a very Merry Christmas. Welcome to Newswatch 3. I'm Allie Sutton with this week's top stories. COVID numbers are trending down on Asbury University's campus as students gear up to leave for Thanksgiving break. According to the Strategic Communication Department's latest update, there have been 78 positive tests since August 1st. In late October, 25 students were in quarantine with 8 in isolation. Now only 10 students remain in quarantine with 5 in isolation. Students are encouraged to report any and all symptoms to health services, who would then begin monitoring their health. The jury is now in deliberation for the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Closing arguments for the trial have come to a close earlier this week. Rittenhouse pled not guilty to charges of killing 2 people and wounding another during the August 2020 protest that took place following the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Wisconsin. The prosecution and defense presented dramatically different depictions of Rittenhouse's actions. A recent Pew Research study shows 48% of 18 to 29-year-olds say they use TikTok, and people who have been using the video sharing app since before September could be entitled to money from a class action lawsuit against the company. TikTok has disclosed a $92 million settlement proposal from its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. It comes from a federal lawsuit claiming TikTok illegally collected and used personal data from its users. The lawsuit cites both federal law and Illinois law, which allow plaintiffs to seek money when their data is harvested without consent. Nike is postponing the release of its sneaker collaboration with rapper Travis Scott following the Astroworld concert tragedy. Nike made the announcement on its website Monday, saying the postponement was a sign of respect for everyone impacted by the Astroworld tragedy. 10 people died when crowds started surging as Scott began his performance. Included in that number was a 9-year-old boy who died Sunday from his injuries after being trampled at the festival. The sneaker, officially known as the Nike X Travis Scott Air Max 270 Cactus Trails, was originally set to be released in December. A new release date for the shoe has not been announced yet. Two beloved movies mark big anniversaries this year, a modern franchise classic and an iconic Christmas film. David Daniel reflects on both in today's Hollywood Minute. The 75th anniversary Blu-ray edition of It's a Wonderful Life and the 20th anniversary discs of the original Harry Potter franchise went on sale Tuesday and are now available to all. Well, it's all the time we have for today. For Newswatch 3, I'm Allie Sutton. Thanks for joining us.